What I really want to see though now is let's just pretend that you were outside B main and you want to clear the site. How would you go about that? I just want to see what you naturally do.
Okay.
And you're making sure there aren't any enemies around.
Cutting through.
And then I would plant the spike right here.
Okay.
That's how I would usually go about it.
So I see a couple of major issues that you can actually fix really easily that will make you a much better. So if you want to go back to the start of this, the very first thing that I saw that really stuck out to me is crosshair placement. I talk a lot about crosshair placement, but the key thing here is that your crosshair is typically it's in the wall basically. So when you were coming around the corner, I don't know if I can mark things. Can you see things when I mark them? I can't mark anything. Well, that's fine.
Yeah, I don't see it. So like my crosshair was like right there whenever.
Yeah, when you were clearing that angle.
So like this.
No, it was just actually you were tracing a spot on the wall rather than a spot that was actually useful. So you want to have that in play, like in front of you, where the opponent's head is going to be. And that that tiny change, because you're going to be able to find that elimination with something like just a counter strafe rather than actually going through the potential of like missing with your aim and things like that, which can really drag out a time to eliminate. And so that's the first thing that you want to focus on. The second thing you want to focus on that's going to be really huge, you're walk peeking a ton. That's a massive issue because you're very slow. And when you walk peek, yes, you're silent, but if the opponent is actually there, and at some point the opponent's going to be there, right? Like at some point you're going to go around a corner and there's going to be an opponent. That's going to be a massive disadvantage because you're going to peek into them slow. They're going to have more time to react. And so even if their aim is actually worse than yours, they're still going to find that frag because you're just giving them so much time to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's the second thing.
More jiggle peeking and more fast peeking.
No, this is the third thing. So the third thing that I would say, I like actually your style, the methodical, calm style. I think that's personally what I would say is a very effective style at higher levels and a very effective style at lower levels as well. It's the most standard style. You peek very close to the wall. I could say too close, but I'm not going to because situationally that's a big deal. But the way geometry works, the farther back you stand from an angle, generally the sooner you will see your opponent, and that will give you more time to react to them. That will give you more time to land the frag, and that will just give you just a massive edge, right? So if you're peeking super close to the angle, the opponents will see you first. It's the same thing as walk peeking. And so what you're doing, my friend, is combining walk peeking with peeking really close, and you're just giving them a really easy kill.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot of sense.
And so they might not even be better than you, but you know, if you give them a slam dunk and you hand it to them, then most people can slam dunk properly at that point.
Because
So
with me, I'm like used to doing sniping. I usually like use Marshal and stuff. So like I'm used to just like going like just like really close to the wall, or just like jump peeking.
yeah, that makes sense. I love jump peeking too, but even with opping and rifling, sorry, even with Marshal and op, you do want to be sitting farther back from the angle as much as possible because you do want to have that advantage from being farther back. It's not the end of the world, but you're standing so close to the angle that it would be a really dramatic situation. You want to be sitting as far back as possible most of the time, unless you have, say, like a shotgun. Like I said, it does depend on situations.
I also originally did Bucky because I played Sage and then I saw Quirkity's video of shotgun Sage, like fun, and then I got good with Bucky, and then so I just got used to just going like.
That makes perfect sense to me. Yeah, I completely understand.
Like I just got used to that kind of play style because I saw Quirkity and I'm like, oh, that looks like a lot of fun, so I just started playing Bucky a lot, and then they nerfed Bucky and then I stopped playing Bucky.
And there's nothing wrong with that at all, but if you let it affect your core gameplay, it's going to be definitely one of the reasons that you can't get out of Iron if you can't get out of Iron, or if you're not moving forward. And then the last thing that I would say, there's only 4 things. It's really not that much. And you'll be able to watch the video again if you want to go back or like make a list or something. The 4th thing is not checking stuff. So I noticed that when you ran out, you had that methodical style when there was one angle, but when it sort of got into that free-for-all situation, first of all, you looked at the switch all the way up to when you were running at it. You want to keep your crosshair trained on where the opponents are going to be. I don't think you cleared logs. That's an issue. You need to clear logs.
Yeah, I didn't. I forgot to clear logs. Yeah, I did forget
Yep.
to clear logs. I just
So
remembered that.
that's fine. So you clear logs, you clear boathouse. Right now, what do? First off, mid market's open. You can look at that if you think that's important, but the smoke should be down. And then other than that, CT would be the priority to make sure you don't get peeked from CT and die to it.
Yeah.
Now, yes, there would be smokes most of the time, and that might be why you have the habit of looking at the switch, because it might not get punished often, especially in iron. But you want to be trained on the smoke just in case someone runs through and you can get that easy pick, because they shouldn't be running through. And that's really all there is to it for your mechanics. I mean, you're not, just from what I saw, and I didn't see that much, you're not bad at mechanics, but you're giving the opponents a lot of you're just making it easier for the opponents when you don't have to make it. You know what I mean? Like you could make it more difficult. And
so just double check. So have like be pre-aimed to already at the angle, not be following the wall as much as I did.
Yep.
Also peek further back.
With longer range weapons, pistol round type thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then also with it was don't slow peek like I was.
Uh-huh.
And then there was checking all the angles.
Absolutely. Yep, that's right.
Okay.
That's all there is to it. That my friend should bring you up to silver without really a whole lot of effort. Even if your aim's not that good, just making it difficult for the opponents to find the frags is going to allow you, even if you don't have good mechanics or good aim, to come out on top of a lot of gunfights in your rank.
Okay.
All right, do you want to hop into that unrated?
Yeah, sure. Sounds good.
Let's do it.
Spike dropped.